Hello, and welcome back to the Dungeons & Dragons Podcast UK. My name is Yasmin, and I will be the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Elora Greyvale, and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hello, I'm Colin, and I play Cuin de Greymont, a paladin from Thraben in the province of Gavany.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, a goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir, sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
Last time, as the curtain fell, things were dark and desperate. It was as if all were caught in the slow-mo of an overhead camera. Time seemingly stood still, Esther and Elora deeply emotional and struggling to comprehend Cuin's cruel demise, laid bare their raw shock and distress, which spilled from them like a sea of sorrow flooding over the scene. In Ogvar's desperation to try and make good that which he could never hope to mend, we saw his hurried application of some blessed bandages and a vial of dire situation as Otto and Eric helplessly looked on. Too little, too late, and all far, far too sudden. Episode 142, Into the Arms of Avacyn.
Hi all. A quick note from the DM before we get started on this week's episode. Last episode, Cuin was disintegrated as per the effect of a disintegration ray. While reviewing the notes and preparing for forthcoming sessions, I discovered that Colin should have been afforded the chance to make a fortitude saving throw against the spell save DC. This was missed, and as such, in the interim period between sessions, I gave Colin the opportunity to make that roll, and we would retcon the result if necessary. With a spell save DC of 26, which is an incredibly high target, Colin rolled a 25. As such, Cuin will remain disintegrated. Ogvar. You are knelt down by the ashy remains of what was once your paladin. You've fumbled around amidst his armour, amidst his cape, his clothing, scraping the dust into a pile. You can see drag marks where your fingers have kind of left behind bits of Cuin. Where it's kind of fallen into the gaps, into the patina of the wooden boards, but you've scraped it together into a pile. You uncork your bottle of potion of dire situation, tip it into the ashes, and very quickly unravel your bandages, blessed bandages, and begin to wrap them around the pile of dust. As you watch before your eyes, the liquid which you've just poured almost seems to evaporate and turn into a golden hazy shimmer that floats above the detritus. The blessed bandages glow slightly, and you hear a faint, very, very faint, almost inaudible whispering. a very female-sounding voice. Otto, looking upon this scene, you see this effect going on. You see the haze around these ashes. You hear something slightly different though. You can tell that this noise is a very faint whispering, but in your head it rings clear. A voice you've only heard once or twice in your entire life. As clear as silver bells. You hear the voice of Avacyn.
I shall listen most carefully.
The voice you can hear is quiet, almost a whisper, as if she is very, very far away. Despite its quietness, it is as clear as silver bells. This beautiful harmonic voice. And she says to you, he can be brought back. For now, he will stay with me. It will require a sacrifice. My strength is not as it should be at the moment. Give me your answer in your dreams. And it fades away. As her voice fades, Otto, you see the shimmering begins to cease. The bandages unravel, turning into a thin thread that is coated in gold by this haze. This golden thread almost floats in the air, swirling round itself, dipping through the ashes, until it has woven a single, beautiful, gleaming, golden feather that now rests amidst Cuin's discarded armour on the deck.
Otto will look at the companions. Obviously this is their friend and an important part of their quest as well. And gently kneel down next to the feather and reverently pick it up. He'll hold it up to the light as best he can, just inspecting it to see if there's any sign of any blemishes at all, not that he'd expect to see any, and then gently put it with his seed pouch.
Okay. So I'm assuming you fly down, you turn back into human form, but yeah.
Already did that, yeah. Did that the last session. He was already in human form.
Got you, perfect, yeah. I mean, you inspect the feather, and the fine kind of the hairs are perfect. There is not a single one bent out of place. They have not separated. They are soft and thick, and the actual kind of centre of the quill is almost clear and perfect. And yeah, you can pick it up and tuck it away in your seed pouch. It's a long feather, but you're able to tuck it away, and nothing physically remains of Cuin. The ashes have gone, the bandages have gone, and the potion has evaporated during this process. So the only thing that remains on the deck in front of all of you is his armour, his cloak, his skin of the celestial, and his sword and weaponry. And his bag as well.
An angel's feather, a gift from Avacyn herself. I feel that this may be what we need to find a way to bring him back. I'm not sure about the other stuff. His earthly possessions mean nothing to me. Would you have a use for it? Is it worth you bring it along in case we can find a way to bring him back to life?
Alora's just... She's just weeping. She's just crying. She has one hand on Esther's forearm, who stood beside her, having just smashed the phylactery, or this red light, as it were. I don't think Alora would know what it was. And Alora would just... She would just be weeping. She would have her hands flat, both hands spread wide flat on the deck where Otto had just picked up the feather. And I think that the weight and enormity of everything that had just happened would absolutely overwhelm her. She started out, she cast her mind, she started out on this journey not really believing in anything, but had seen some strange things along the way, and gradually she began to see and understand a little more about why people would want to be part of the church, want to believe in Avacyn. And all of this is just overwhelming. She never thought she would perhaps believe in this way. And she just sits there weeping, sobbing.
Yeah. Esther's gathered herself up. You can see she is upset, clearly. But she's a tough woman. She has seen many of her friends, her comrades, her fellow clergymen. She's seen so many of them pass on into Avacyn's arms. She's read last rites. She's comforted the dying. She's taken life herself. She's no stranger to death. And although you can see that she's clearly shaken, the tears fall down her face silently. She makes no sound, no movement except the barest tremor in her lower lip and her hands. She stands strong by you, Alora, placing a hand on your shoulder. You feel the tremor, but her grip is unwavering and strong, and she gives you a firm squeeze. Nods quietly to herself.
Laura will use the hand that she has on Esther's forearm, grip it tightly, and she will rise up from her knees. She's going to wipe her tears away roughly with the back of her sleeve on her blouse. And I think she would turn to face all of them, and she will say, I can't believe this has happened. I didn't see what happened. She tries to get control of her breathing. There's nothing that any of us can do at this point. But what I do know is that whatever has gone on in this ship, and she starts to get really angry at this point, and her tears turn to anger, really. We're not done here. Our job here is not done, and we need to see this through. Somewhere there's still, I don't know, are those creatures still here that I saw? We need to search this ship. This ship has come from somewhere. It's come from somewhere. There must be some logs or some paperwork or something. How has this got here? Nobody has ever seen this ship. Cuin already said that they didn't have anything like this kind of size in the fleet, in the church's fleet. It's come from somewhere. Is this another? Is this arrived through some planar shift like we've seen before? Can something this big come through? There's got to be answers on here somewhere. Are those birds still outside? What about the things in the graveyard? If this thing is dead, are they all gone? We need to check. We need to sort this out. Where do we start? I should just look at everybody and look for a bit of direction, I think.
Well, I suggest we collect up what's left of Cuin's belongings. And they're not much, but next of kin may want them, or the church may have want of them. I'm not really sure what to do in this situation, but I don't think it's right to just leave it here.
No, we must take them. We must take them.
I think if Orland is agreeable, I think he's the bag for it.
Orland, would you please carry Cuin's things for us?
Right, got you, Missy. Don't be getting any salt water on my leather.
I think you've had quite enough of that today, and I'll deal with that later for you. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'll look after it proper good until he's back.
Thank you. And she's going to open up flat. She's going to take Orland off her shoulder, open up the flap, pop him down on the floor, and just gesture with a hand to Ogvar. If you wouldn't mind, Ogvar.
Not at all. And Ogvar will proceed to gently feed things into the bag.
Yeah, sure. Orland takes them. You both kind of receive some affectionate slaps from his bag toggles. They're full of love and care. And he's communicating in the best way that he can with you. Through abuse, mostly. Okay.
Right. She'll close the flap back up. She'll carefully place Orland back over, like put the strap over her head, wear him crosswise across the front of her body.
Yeah.
And just sit him on the left-hand side, the opposite side to Rowan's pouch that he's in on the right.
Yeah, sure thing. By this point, I imagine Bojo stopped trying to climb up the ladder. He's probably come back and joined you. He'd have probably snuffled around Cuin's armour slightly, looking confused in the way only a bear can look confused as to where has Cuin gone. Eric has joined you. He stood behind and silent, respectful. He looks shocked in himself. He looks aghast, really, at the proceedings. However, you get the feeling that he's very much, this isn't his place to intrude, so he's just letting you have the time and the private moment to pull yourselves back together and figure out what you're doing next. Okay.
Laura will look down, and in her hand she's still holding the vial of antitoxin that she took out of Orland but never actually drunk. So she's going to quietly just slip that back in her pocket for now.
Okay, yeah.
She's going to look up at the hole that she's created in the deck above. She's going to look around and turn to Otto and say, well, I suppose we better check the rest of this deck, although I don't think there's much here, but we ought to search it. And how the hell are we going to get Bojo back up there?
Well, I suspect that'll be a problem we'll have to deal with after I've rested. I have little more I can contribute, and without some magic, I think that I'll have a hard time getting either of us anywhere.
I can get him out of here, but I can get some of us out of here, but we need to go and check the ship first, so I can help with Bojo, but thinking about it, I think I've still got something that I can dig deep for, but I think we need to search the rest of this ship.
Agreed. I shall wander over to Bojo and just give him a bit of a hug.
Yeah, he makes a kind of a sad, confused kind of roar at you. You can tell he's from knowing Bojo, you can tell that he is confused. And the way he looks at you and the way he looks at the spot where you've just picked up Cuin's armour from, you get that very much that kind of visual question mark of, we seem to be missing someone. Where is he?
He's gone, mate. Maybe we'll see him again, maybe not, but for now he's gone, and once again we have to carry on.
Bojo butts you with the top of his massive head. His big thick skull goes straight into your sternum, and it's not hard. It's an affectionate butt, but it still kind of wins you slightly. He very much kind of gives you a butt, rubs up you a bit, moves across to the next nearest, which is probably Allura, and sticks out his long tongue and very delicately licks the back of her hand in this kind of this very much affectionate manner, this very much kind of reassurance.
Allura will turn to face him, and I think she'd turn and she'd just bury her face into his fur.
Yeah, he very much kind of, he stands there. He occasionally, tongue comes out and he'll dart and lick a tear off your cheek. And yeah, he's there for you to snot into his fur.
Yeah, she's going to do exactly that, and she's just going to stand there. She's going to take a full minute or two to just calm herself. And he's very, very soft, and actually she finds it very comforting. And once she's done with that, then she's going to step back. She's going to straighten her clothing out, kind of breathe a sigh, and with purpose, she is going to walk down to the end, towards the other end of the deck where the ladder is, back up to the galley. She's going to turn round and call to Ogvar and say, Ogvar, would you come with me, please? There's some things that we need to check out, and I kind of don't want to be on my own. And then she's going to shake her pouch and say, Rowan, can you come out, please? It's safe for you to come out now. I'll explain what's happened in a bit if you haven't understood. Please keep an eye out for anything that might be invisible. Those creatures, again, I'm not sure whether they're still here. I'm not sure whether it was all linked to whatever the hell that was, sat in that chair, throne, whatever it is. Maybe that he's gone, it's gone. Maybe they've gone as well. I don't know. But just see if you can scout and find anything that's fluttering about that shouldn't be. Let me know. And she's going to start off up the ladder, up to the next deck, and she's purposefully going to be walking towards whatever that was, to examine it, that creature, that thing, that person, whatever it was. She's going to walk towards it to take a look, and then she's going to stand there and wait until Ogvar catches up.
Okay. So Ogvar, you're following, you're joining. Otto, what are you doing at this point? Are you following, staying?
I'm inclined to give them a moment and perhaps just spend a bit of time with Otto and the others, just giving the other pair a little bit of space and time while we just keep an eye out for things. Plus, Otto's incredibly tired right now, so he doesn't really want to move further than he has to.
Yeah. So you're staying with Bojo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Eric will join you with Bojo. Esther will also stay in the bottom of the ship. She wanders around a little bit, seemingly looking for something to do, and then proceeds to absolutely batter the shit out of the throne with her feet. I mean, you hear her. She's properly leathery into it. This is an outlet. This is how she's relieving her frustration, her anger, her sadness. All of it is going out onto battering this throne. And perhaps Ogvar and Alora on the deck up, you hear the noise and kind of look down the hole and see her, battering it. And yeah, she's angry, she's upset. Let her be. This is her release.
Good woman,
Yeah. Yeah, Alora would definitely look down through the hole, obviously slightly alarmed at first, but then she would see what Esther's doing, and she'd set her jaw and just think, you go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ogvar, Alora. Rowan is off. Rowan is flittering around. He doesn't, perhaps, is very much a startling opposite to the situation that you find yourselves in. This very sad, very kind of serious moment. Rowan is whizzing around with all the energy in the world. He is high-pitched squeaking, squealing, doing loop-the-loops. He's darting in and out of doorways. He is the epitome of an excited toddler who hasn't processed that everyone else is sad.
Yeah, he's just oblivious.
Yeah, it's very much like a young child just not picking up on the social cues, and he's just, complete juxtaposition to everyone else. So you go over and you inspect this creature. When you walk over, you push aside, I'm imagining with either the tip of your axe or your bow, or, you're probably not going to touch it directly. You pull aside this tattered, silken velvet robe. You see these beautiful, beautiful items of clothing. You can see they were once heavily embroidered, heavily decorated, made out of the richest fabrics you have ever seen. Obviously very, very worn down with age. They're kind of moth-bitten, mildewy in some places. And as you pull them aside, you see nothing but a pile of dust, which before your very eyes begins to dissipate and almost kind of blow away into nothingness, leaving these clothes and this large mask on the floor.
Okay.
Alora's going to look at Ogvar, and as she's peeling very tentatively with her forefinger and thumb, peeling away as if they're something infected, peeling away a small piece of fabric to start picking the fabric apart to see what's under there, obviously realising that it's just basically husk, it's dust now. I think she would pick up the face mask and hold it up. Can she do some kind of... Obviously, it was a magic caster, whatever it was. Can she tell from these remains, from the mask, from anything that's lying here? Does this clothing have pockets? Is there anything on this other than the mask?
Okay.
I assume the flail is still there, right?
Yeah.
What would she see?
The flail is down by the throne. It didn't take the flail with it when it teleported.
Okay.
So, as you pick up the mask, this silver mask, it's heavy and it's very featureless. It's got it's entirely smooth. You can see lips, but again, they're smooth, they're kind of cold. A nose which is very, very straight, very strong, kind of built nose on this mask. Some slits for eyes, and these two big curling horns. As you pick it up and flip it over, you see that inside of the mask, the mask itself appears to be mounted to a headband of some kind. As you pull through the pockets, you pull through the clothing, you don't find anything of any significance.
I think she would like to do an Arcana check generally in that immediate area. I think she would locate it most strongly in this particular area.
Okay, so you can make me an Arcana check.
Okay.
And do
Arcana.
all of you want to make me a history check as well?
Okay.
That would be a 13 for the Arcana check all in. So that's, yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't a large number and it was a +9, so it came to a 13.
Okay, so I'm going to say, with the addition of your eye,
Yep.
you make this Arcana check. You are very much drawn to this mask, however. Yes, you can feel this magical aura from the clothing, from the dust, even into the very planks of the ship itself. You can feel a magical aura. This area is so incredibly saturated with just magic in general. Your eye tells you that the dust and the clothing's inanimate, but you get this feeling it's probably drawn it from the creature. Very much evil, even if it is fading now that it is dead. Your eye, however, does pick up on, in conjunction with this Arcana check you've just made, this mask. The headband which is mounted within this mask does not carry an evil aura. It's something which stands out quite starkly to you.
Okay.
And upon further inspection, as you look at the mask, you look at the headband and you pry it out. It's a little difficult to pry out, but you manage to pry it out and you're left with this headband. You recognise this as a headband of intellect.
Ooh. Okay.
So, headband of intellect, which is a wondrous item. This is a lower level one. It will give you a +2 to your intelligence score.
Ooh, nice.
Page
Okay.
reference 258 out of the DMG if you want it.
Okay.
Okay. So, those history checks. What do we have?
Right. History checks.
Does that just be just straight knowledge for Ogvar, because he doesn't have knowledge history?
No, I don't have knowledge history either.
Okay, yep, straight knowledge then. If you haven't got history, straight knowledge.
So, okay. Ooh, that's a 19 as a straight roll for Allura.
Yeah. Straight 16 for Ogvar.
Nice.
Okay.
Otto's not there at the moment, so I presume it would hold off.
No. Can you make me a check at this point as well, please?
Did roll just in case. I have a 16 plus 3 for 19.
Okay, so yeah, even without the addition to the wisdom modifier to your scores, Aqua, Allura, yeah, you pass this check. This creature is something that you do recognise. Not because you've seen it before, but because you've heard of it in children's tales. Mostly as something all of your parents told you would come and steal you away in the night if you were naughty.
Oh, it's the boogeyman.
It's the boogeyman. This creature you recognise as perhaps it would have featured in children's tales, even in the church's teachings, almost kind of an aesophical, where it's essentially it's been used as a metaphor that if you lust after power too much, if you twist your own purpose to this degree, you will become so incredibly evil. And you recognise this creature from these tales as a Lich. A wizard who was so invested in attaining power, wealth, to the point of abandoning all principles and all shreds of humanity, they've become a Lich. And this is the creature that you recognise as what you've just defeated.
I know what it is, but I never thought I'd be this close to one. It is a Lich, I think.
Laura says nothing, but she looks him square in the eyes and she just nods. And she's got this mask that she's picked up in her hand. She stands up to a full height to face Ogvar, and she holds the mask up. She points to the band behind it. This is quite a powerful magical object, and it is not evil. This is the only thing here that is not evil.
Okay.
I'll put this in Orland. She puts it in Orland.
Just the headband.
Just the headband.
Just the headband, yes.
Yes.
Is the mask is that evil as well?
It's an object, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has been touched. It's been touched by evil. It's been in contact, so it has like a lingering aura. But the object itself, I don't believe, is evil. But the headband is not. I believe it.
Is the mask just a mask, or does it?
I don't know. This could be a cult thing. Maybe the higher leaders of the cult have these masks. I don't know. Ogvar.
What I'm trying to say is, although I don't think it's wise for us to have it, but is it equally as daft to leave it here? Do we need to remove it in case anybody else finds it?
Looking at it, can she tell whether the headband part of it can be removed from the faceplate of the mask?
Yes, the headband can be removed.
She's going to hand it to Ogvar. Ogvar, if that's fine by me, we leave the faceplate behind. But can you get this off there?
Certainly try.
She hands it to Ogvar to see if he can remove the headband carefully. Just be careful with it. It is a valuable item.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Ogvar will sort of take the pointy end of his dagger and just try and wiggle it free, I suppose.
Yeah, you're able to kind of get it free. You can almost see that it's got these kind of two fixing points on the temple, where the faceplate hooks into it, and this is the headband is what was keeping the mask in place.
Okay.
So yeah, you're able to kind of just pry them open a bit and pull it off.
Okay.
Okay.
She's going to open Orland's flap and just offer the bag slightly round towards Ogvar for him to just drop it in.
Yep.
She's in no mood to explain just at this moment. She's not sure she can explain exactly at this moment. There's all just too much happening. Stuff for later, I think.
Okay. So, go for it.
Ogvar left with the mask in his hand. Is there a porthole on the deck, or is there a window, or is there an aperture to the outside world?
Not on this deck.
Waterline, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, this deck isn't. The deck up isn't below the waterline. but there's no.
Oh no, sorry, that's right. Yeah, we're on the deck.
If you
Okay.
go up to the deck above, well, no, deck above is in the open air, isn't it?
The quarter
So-
deck, yeah.
So yeah, but there's no portholes on this deck.
Okay. Also, I don't think we should leave it here. I think we should put it somewhere where people don't find it.
I was
So
thinking.
like thumb over his shoulder, like.
Well, I haven't spoke to the others, but I was thinking when I came on this ship that if we clear out and whatever was here, I think we should give this ship, get it back to Selhoff and get it refitted, repurpose it, let the church bless it and make it the pride of their fleet. They haven't got anything like this.
Blessing.
That's a lot of blessing, but that's on them. That's not a thing for me. But this is quite the prize. If we leave it here, they'll clear it out.
Okay.
We'll secure the ship when we leave, but we need to make sure that there's nothing else here.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing now? So you've kind of had this discussion. You stood over the rapidly dissolving ashes and clothing and bits. So what's your next step? Are you just going to do a run through of the entire ship?
I think Alora would call back down to Esther and Otto, and basically, in short terms, just to, in the interest of just not running through too much RP on that, she would suggest that somebody goes up to check to see if there are still birds above the ship before it gets dark, because it must be coming up to very late afternoon by now, I would have thought.
Yeah, you're in that time region, yeah.
Yeah, we need to check for birds. I think she would call down to Esther and Otto and just loud enough for everyone to hear. We need to make sure that everything's cleared out, guys. This thing's dead, it's gone, it's ash. I have recovered something, I'll discuss it later with you. I've put it in Orland for now. We need to check for those birds. I don't know whether those birds were connected to this thing, but that's quite critical as to us getting out of here and the method in which we do that. And we just need to make sure that this... I'm looking for paperwork. I want to know where this thing's come from, how it's got here. Anything, clues, anything. We need to go through this ship and check everything. You guys check on the bottom?
I guess.
No, I think the sooner we get off this boat, clear it out and get off it, the better. We need to get back to Generic.
Okay. So, what we'll do is you tell me which bit of the ship you want to check. I'll tell you what you find, what you don't find. Okay? So where do you want to start?
Yeah.
Should we go bottom up?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
Not sure
guys are
which
on the
we join
bottom.
them.
You guys are on the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah, you guys are on the bottom. We're on the next deck up. So I think we'd start with those areas, wouldn't we? I'm assuming that deck at the bottom where they took the floor out of to make it 25 foot. I'm guessing that was the lowest two decks. Was there anything below that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Start where I would think we would start with, like, let Otto and Esther search first.
Shall
Okay.
we do it all together rather than split the party? I don't
It's
know about you,
just
but I
going to make
haven't
this
got a whole lot left.
easier. If all of you
Okay.
act together, that'll make this a lot easier.
Okay.
Maybe let
oh-
Eric and Bojo stay together while the other four of us explore properly?
Yes. Yeah. So Eric, Bojo, and Eric and Bojo will kind of chillax.
Come on, Ogvar. Let's just go back down. We'll start searching this from the bottom up. Let's go and join them, and
Okay.
we'll search together.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
go down the ladder and sort of do the thing where you put your feet on the outside and slide down.
Excellent. You get some nice shiny wood burns on your hands, and perhaps a splinter or two.
Well polished boots. Yeah, Alora would follow him down, but she would use the rungs. Although she would be used to going down ladders and things like that on boats, so she would probably just sort of swing down a bit monkey style, couple at a time. I would imagine she'd be quite good at that.
Surprised you made such a bodge using the infinite ladder earlier then.
Fucking no. Yeah, there were more rungs on that one. Oh dear.
Right, okay.
Funny.
So you get back into this floor, this throne room, as we call it, on the bottom of the boat. You take some poking around. Again, you see Otto. Are you still glowing?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, you've got
Got a
plenty
few
of
hours
illumination. You've got plenty of illumination. You can see these kind of tatty black silken, this tatty black silken drapery which lines the walls, clearly to kind of give this more ostentatious, a bit more of a throne room feel. You see the now destroyed throne which Esther's gone to riot on. And as you head further towards the back of the boat, you pass the throne. And you notice that the room is significantly shorter than it should be.
Let's start having a little dig around then, maybe. Wouldn't
Okay.
want to let something get past us.
So, can you all roll me a search check, please?
Oh, my favourite. That's not right, surely. Seriously? I've got a 0 to a search check? Oh, but I've rolled a 19 though.
Okay. It's like that's what they call 0 to hero, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. It can't last.
No.
I rolled a 15 plus 7 for a 22.
22.
Yeah, it's not that high.
Yes, please.
19 for Alora, and
Otto has an 8 on the dice plus 3, so 11.
11. Okay, so as you begin looking around, you start doing the old traditional bang, 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 thumping on the walls. You can tell that this wall, this back wall, is clearly hollow. There's a cavity behind it, there's a void of some kind behind it. And it isn't long before, kind of poking around, prying at it with a dagger, Ogvar, you find
Yes.
a panel that when you push on it, you feel a click, and part of the panelling, tall enough for possibly a person of, you say, about 6 foot, swings open into a dark room.
Okay, so Ogvar will go, ooh, I found a door, but it's rather dark. Also, if you'd be so kind as to assist with some illumination.
I can do that much at least, of course. And I shall simply move into position behind Ogvar to light his way.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Alora feels grateful because she thinks about casting light and then she just doesn't have the energy to bother. She just looks to Otto and thinks, yeah.
fair enough. Okay, so as you stand in the doorway, you cast ample illumination into this room. This room, which is stacked to the gunnels with objects of a magical nature.
Oh, God.
It's an animated candelabra. No, it's not.
Oh, what the fuck? That's many drawers. You can shut him in this time.
Well,
Talking teacup, yeah.
you say drawers. You do in fact catch sight of a very large, very ornate, gothic-looking bureau. It is solid-looking. It is midnight black, beautifully carved, with patterns of thistles and roses and other flora. It's got a large slope, which you can clearly see some very kind of rich midnight blue leather, and all of the accoutrements that you'd expect with a very, very expensive, very, very classy writing desk. I mean, it's got upstands, it's got drawers, carved drawers, it's the works, and it is covered with sheaths of paper, notebooks, and the like. So, I take it that you are going to go and explore in this room.
Allura would immediately, she saw that, home in on that particular thing, despite the fact that this place is filled with stuff. That is what would draw her attention, because she is very specifically looking for something.
Okay, so I'm going to go around each of you. I want you to tell me item or desk, and that's going to determine what we go for first. So, Rick.
Given Otto's lack of interest in possessions at the moment, I think desk.
Desk, Ryan.
Sorry, we're eating a sweet. Sorry, bad timing. I think with Ogvar's sort of almost literacy, I don't think he'd be that interested in a desk or writing equipment, so he's probably going to go item.
Okay, and Allura, I'm saying, take it, you're going to go desk.
Yeah, she is just focused on the desk. Also thinks it's a very beautiful piece of furniture.
Okay, so what's going to happen is there's two things going to happen at the same time. Rick and Allura are going to start rummaging around the desk looking for clues, information, anything you can find. Ogvar, you're going to start rummaging through the items and taking a look what you can find. Okay. So that's going to happen simultaneously. What I'm going to do is to kind of keep this rolling and keep it moving. I'm going to go for the items first. I'll run you through, because I'll assume that after you've started rummaging around the desk, after you've found and had discussion, you're going to go back and look at the items anyway, vice versa. You're going to share that information, you're going to look around, you're going to look at the books, right? So, I'm just going to run through what you find first, so that we can get that over with, have a little bit of a break, and then go and carry on with the story. Okay, so, I've got a big spreadsheet. It's a very big spreadsheet.
Oh, hell.
So I will send this to you. Don't feel the need to write any of this down. I'll send you the spreadsheet because it'll be a lot simpler. Because I stayed up until 3 a.m. in the morning writing this.
That is the best time for
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Last episode had seen a sad swan song for the party paladin, and after witnessing the tragic demise of Cuin, the companions floundered in a shockwave of sorrow. To Ogvar, arranging potion-soaked bandages upon his armour seemed appropriate, but offered no obvious restorative effects. What occurred next was definitely and most deeply divine, as the Archangel Avacyn shone her light and gave the gift of a golden feather in place of their fallen friend. This delicate token, bearing the paladin's precious soul, was received by the druid, who dutifully accepted his deity's appointment, indicating that this must be his heavy burden to bear. The downfall of the phylactery, at the behest of Esther's blade, assured this evil would never return, and sifting through its sparse remains was worthwhile, as a rare and rather valuable item presented itself. The emotionally charged sorceress began to share her thoughts, theories and concerns with the team, prompting a thorough search of the ship, and it was not long before a well-concealed entrance in a wooden wall was located. This led to the large storage room, which, unbeknown to our heroes, would likely change the very course of history. Now you're dying to know, aren't you? #sorry no spoilers. Be sure to smash that play button next week, folks, for episode 143. Hey, you made it this far, so lend us your ears for a moment longer if you will. Firstly, we are most humbled that you are enjoying our yarn, and the crew thank you from the bottom of their hearts for your patronage. Producing this podcast is incredibly hard work, and as such, if you would like to support us, there are a few ways in which you could really make a difference. Sharing links to friends and family helps to spread the word so others like you can find us, and in turn they too can enjoy the show. Equally helpful is leaving a 5-star review on Spotify and any other streaming services, which will help us immensely. Or, if you feel you could go that extra mile and contribute a few coppers to keep our creative juices flowing, you can hop on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page or drop us an email. We would all be immensely grateful for your support in any form. Lastly, we invite you to visit our website, where you will find information on our campaign from backstories to settings. Join our Facebook group or follow us on Twitter. All the links are in our episode bios. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and download buttons so you never miss the next episode. See you all again next week, folks.